Alrighty, guys, welcome into the AfterSchrock. Thanks for joining us here. This is a little brief program. It's going to be pretty brief today because my niece and nephew are coming over tonight, and tonight. They're coming over this morning, and I'm going to go home and entertain them because I don't get to see them well enough. I'm not exactly sure what you do with a 13-year-old girl to entertain them, but I will figure something out. I'm sure there's some completely mind-numbingly boring thing. My wife suggested you just leave her alone on her phone, and that's good enough. And I'm like, no. There's got to be something fun to do. I'll bring them some donuts or something. All right, so let's see. What did we not get to on the program today? I think we covered a lot of ground today really quickly. I felt like I was kind of going a mile a minute, and I'm sorry if I was going, too quickly. Firefox. We didn't. I teased this, but we didn't get to it. It was the IE is bad. Get rid of IE. But Firefox is now blocking all crypto mining scripts that are hidden on websites by default. This is an interesting thing. So websites need to pay the bills to stay on the internet. So a lot of them will put advertisements on the screen. Well, then came ad blockers. So no one was seeing the advertisements, which means they weren't getting any money. So some websites resorted to installing scripts that while you're on their website, it uses your computer's power and hardware to mine for cryptocurrency to go back to the website. And they got fractions of a penny from each visitor. Small fractions of a penny from each visitor. But if you get a few 100,000 visitors a month and they spend an average of 5 or 10 minutes on the site each, you could actually make about as much as you were making selling ads. And all it was to the individuals coming to the site, a lot of people actually would prefer it because they don't have to look at ads anymore, even though when they're on the websites it's using their computer's power to your power. You're paying money to not see ads. So it's kind of like a subscription, but it's kind of on a use base. So imagine you only pay the road tax and the gas tax when you're actually driving. and not when you're fueling up your tank or whatever. It's kind of interesting. But now Firefox is going to block those by default because they never disclose them. Websites are not disclosing that they're doing this. So some websites are double dipping. They're showing ads and crypto mining. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. All right. So I want to take a couple minutes today to talk about a friend of mine who passed away on Friday. Kobe Mack, literally, if I had to go back through the history of Schrock Innovations and the history of my career, there are, in anyone's history, in anyone's career, there are pivotal moments. There are moments where one thing happened or one person did something or made a decision that unlocked the door that made a lot of things possible. And for me, that person was Kobe Mack. Before he was president of LIBA and all political and controversial, he was just a program director at KFOR in Lincoln and our Lincoln affiliate. And I remember I had started my company in 1999, and the first advertising we ever did, I went out and I took my credit card and I bought $1,500 worth of ads to run over 2 weeks about how we build the bestest computers in the whole wide world. They weren't called modular. There was no it was a 60-second ad. And in my inexperienced brain, I expected, I'm sitting in my shop I'm listening to the radio. Hey, my ad ran. This thing working? Hello? The phone wouldn't ring. Because I didn't understand that advertising isn't about immediate results. It's about frequency and repetition and top-of-mind awareness. And all these things come together to make your phone ring. So I didn't understand that. So I learned a lot of hard lessons early on. And then one day, I was thinking to myself, I should get a radio show. Because I bet people have a lot of questions about computers. So they could call in, because I spend all day on the phone talking to people for free, helping them out. Why don't I do this on the radio? And then I could get that top-of-mind awareness and everything else. It would probably not cost me $1,500 a week. It'd probably be less. Well, so I called up KFOR, and I ended up getting a meeting in Kobe Mack's office, and I sat down in his office, and I was sitting on the edge of my seat because I was nervous. And I said, well, Mr. Mack, and he said, call me Kobe. Okay, Kobe, I think I want to do a radio show. Trademark Kobe. He's like, really? Like I don't hear this like 15 times a week, right? So we go through this whole thing, and I explained to him, like, this is what I want to do. It's computer help. I think it would be a call-in show. It'd be good. He's thinking, Kin Commando is doing really well at this. She was really a hot show at the time. Maybe it'd be nice to have a local, because everything about KFOR is live and local. So maybe it'd be nice to have a local computer guy doing this, but this guy's never done radio before, so he's going to need a co-host. He's going to need someone to kind of, prod him along through the program and make sure he hits his brakes and does everything. And Kobe didn't really have anyone to do it, so he says, heck, I'll do it. And so he literally takes me under my wing. And this is the same story that I did, countless numbers of people that have been in radio, that Kobe Mack was able to look at them and see something in them that maybe they didn't even see themselves, a talent for this industry. And so he would take them under his wing and give them an opportunity. He didn't do the work for you. He made you do the work. And he let you make the mistakes and learn from them. But, like I remember doing the radio show, and then Kobe would be like, and Thor, how can people get a hold of you again? Because, you have to keep saying the name. Every so many minutes, you have to say your name. Every so many minutes, you have to drop the phone number. If you don't have calls, you don't say we don't have calls. You just keep dropping the phone number and pretend like you're too busy to take the calls, But we never had that problem. From the day one when we started the program, it was wall-to-wall phone calls. It was like lightning in a bottle. And eventually, Kobe was a busy guy. He had other things to do. So Dale, the news director at the time over at the radio station, ended up taking over the show as co-host. And we did that for a real long time. And eventually, I remember when I was going to go on my first show live on KFAB. And Kobe calls me up and he goes, Thor, I heard you're going on KFAB. And I was like, yeah. And I was super nervous. Like literally, the first time I came in here to do a show, I was in the bathroom like before I came out here. It was not pretty. So Kobe, the night before, I'm all nervous about it, and Kobe's like, Thor, this is KF freaking AB. Boom, whoa. And he's like, Thor, I'm not on KFAB. This is amazing. This is huge. And I'm like, yeah, it is. I'm really scared. And so it was to have somebody like that in your life who was excited for you, who was excited about your work and what you did. You could see those precursors and those seeds of why he was so successful at LIBA. He came into the Lincoln Business Association, the Lincoln Independent Business Association, great organization, by the way. And literally, he could sit down with a business owner and talk with them about what their plans and their hopes and their dreams were. And then they would inevitably ask him, so how can LIBA help me achieve this? And Kobe had a way of literally breaking it down just like he did for me. You're not going to come and drop your credit card on us for $1,500 and have a line of customers at the door. That's not what we do. What we do is we give you a networking opportunity. We give you tools that if you choose to utilize those tools, you can be successful and you can be more informed about what's going on in the world around you locally so that you can better respond to things and be more involved in your community. And for people who didn't see a value in that, they didn't get a whole lot of value out of LIBA. But people who see the value in that and understand that those opportunities are golden, they got a lot of value from LIBA. And as a result, Kobe was successful in doubling the membership of LIBA. And he was that X factor that comes in and every day I watch him, I would learn from him. I would learn lessons, like life lessons from this guy. I kind of regret that I never told him that. The last time that I saw him in person, he came into the service center to pick up a laptop for the LIBA Foundation charity auction that we were donating. And I held out my hand to shake his hand, and he slapped my hand away and just pulled me into a big hug. He was the best man in my wedding. I mean, he's been there through like some of the biggest moments of my life. I actually talked to Kobe Thursday night. He passed on Friday. And I talked to him on Thursday. There was an issue with the LIBA website. And he calls me up and he goes, Thor, is there a reason that the LIBA website wouldn't be working the way it's supposed to be working? And I was a little embarrassed because, I didn't realize it wasn't working right. But of course, usually the customers are the first one with a website to see that. So I'm like, no, Kobe, there's not. Let me figure that out for you. So I was a little embarrassed. I thought maybe he might be a little peeved about it. So I didn't engage in a conversation. I didn't ask him, hey, how are you doing? Or, hey, what's new? My kids were in the background; they were being loud, and I was like, "Let me get your website back up." And I said, "I'll get that. I'll get right on top of it." He said, "Thanks." We didn't say goodbye, but he said thanks, and that was the last time I talked to him. So yeah, I can't imagine what his family is going through right now. This is so left field, out of character for the man that I knew. That he must have been suffering greatly and just keeping it all. I mean, that's Kobe. One of the life lessons that he taught me was when things are rough, when things aren't going well, keep going, keep doing what you do, keep doing what you do well. The storm will pass, and when it does, you'll be thankful that you didn't make some brash, decision or say something stupid, or just take a moment, take a breath, calm down, and think. And for a young, brash, action-biased business owner, that's still a lesson that I have to remember every single day. So it's very much out of character for the man that I knew. So anyway, I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss him a lot, and there's a lot of people that are going to miss him. He made an impact on so many people's lives that he probably didn't even realize. Because when you get up in the morning and you do what you do, when I come up in here and I do this radio show, there are lots of people listening and they enjoy the program. And if I ever run a rerun or something like that, I get hate mail. It's like, oh, I wasn't due this week. To me, I get up, I love what I do, but it's just what I do. To me, it's not special anymore. Like, it's not like I'm not doing something special for people. I'm just doing what I do. And I think Kobe was the same way. He would get up in the morning, and his job was to make life easier for business owners. His job was to make sure that there was a political climate that was advantageous for business owners so we could succeed doing what we do. He did what he did so we could do what we could do. And I look around in the community, and who steps into those shoes now? I don't think, as the days and the weeks go by, I think it's going to become very apparent what a huge difference this man made in his community, even if he maybe stopped realizing it because it was just common for him. It was just what he did. So I'm going to miss him a lot. Kim and I have been thinking and praying for Lori and the girls, his family, for his parents. There's no words. So anyway, the AfterSchrock is the place where things go that don't necessarily have a place in the radio show, but are important to me. So this is something that was important to me, and I felt like I needed to say something, and I'm going to stop talking about it now before I lose it. All right. Anybody got any questions about other stuff? I'll be happy to answer them for you. All right, Facebook connection is back. All right, everybody's back on. All right, so yeah, Facebook's squirrely this morning. I don't know what it is. I got emails that people were having trouble loading it. We had a caller who said, I can't log in, but my wife is right next to me and she's logged in. And I'm like, well, duh, you're a conservative. You can't log in anymore. It's one of those funny things, but it's true, right? But it's funny. So anyway, if anybody's got any additional questions for the show, anything like that you'd like to share, now's the time to do it. Like I said, it's going to be a brief one. We're not going to be going no 50 minutes today. So we're going to wrap it up here if I don't get any questions pretty quick, because I don't have a ton of extra stuff to go over. One of the things I didn't talk about on the program, which a lot of you already know about, is Drive Advisor. It's a free program that we make at Schrock. It has no cost. It has no revenue model. There's no trial and then a subscription. This is a simple program. You install it on your computer. It monitors the health of your hard drive, so that if your hard drive starts to fail, it sends you an email when the problem starts to tell you your hard drive has started to fail. Most computers don't report when the hard drives start failing because they can start failing the day you get them. And Dell, HP, everybody, they want you to get through the warranty period. So every new modular computer, every solid-state laptop, every custom computer, every server that we make at Schrock, we install Drive Advisor on it because we want you to find out if you're going to have a hard drive problem while you have a warranty, so we can fix it for free. It doesn't cost us anything. We send the hard drive back to the manufacturer and we get another one. This is one of those local service things that we do. So if you have one of our computers, you've got Drive Advisor. If you don't have one of our computers, maybe you have an HP or a Dell or Toshiba or Samsung, Sony, something like that, you can install Drive Advisor for free. It's at driveadvisor.com. Drive Advisor, ER, Advisor, because it's American made. And Drive Advisor was already reserved, so we had to get the ER. But it's American made, that's why. And you can get it for free, driveadvisor.com. Install it on your computer. It asks you for your email. It's just so it can send you an email if something goes wrong on your computer. If you missed the main show, maintenance checkups are still going on. You can bring your computer in. All 3 shops have bench spots available. Lincoln is a little tight, but they're not in queue yet. You can bring the computer in. We're open from noon to 5 today, or you can pop on the website and pick up a certificate anytime in the next 6 months. Also, if you missed the program, the Windows 10 big update for April that's coming out, the upgrade, has been pushed back to May because it had so many problems. So internally, we're all sighing a little bit because we thought Microsoft was going to force out this update when it wasn't ready like what they did with the last one. I'm glad to see them taking another month. It kind of scares me how bad was it that you're taking another month, but they're taking another month. So there's still time to pick up a copy of Safe Upgrade on the website there as well. All right. Chrome versus Firefox. Bing, bing, bing. All right. All my guys love Chrome. Everybody loves Chrome. Chrome seems to work better with everything because everybody in the technical world, when they're testing things, they test first with Chrome. So right now my Facebook stream is running on Chrome because it runs better. Facebook Live runs better on Chrome than it does on Firefox. It just does. But I love Firefox. Firefox doesn't track you. Firefox doesn't make money by learning everything about you that it can. When you use Google Chrome, Google is keeping track of every single thing you do. Everything you do. To build a better marketing profile for you, of course. Firefox is a nonprofit organization, the Mozilla Foundation. They're supported by industry partners, and they make products that keep your privacy safe. Sometimes their features don't roll out as quickly as Chrome because it's Google. They've got bajillions of dollars and a financial motivation to keep things moving. But Firefox, for example, is going to build in an ad blocker, whereas Chrome would never do that. Firefox is now blocking crypto scripts. Chrome is doing that. So the camps are equally divided. So Chrome versus Firefox, I would recommend you install them both on your computer because if one breaks, you'll want the other one to fix, whichever one is your preference. But whichever one is your preference, stick with that one. Save your passwords in your Firefox account or your Google account, and then you can take them across devices. You can install Firefox or Chrome on your cell phones as well. Makes life really easy. Oh, Terry, thank you for the kind thoughts, Terry. Anytime I get to feeling bad, I just remind myself that there are other people out there that were far closer to Kobe than I was that are probably feeling a whole lot worse. So, yeah, it's rough. All right, after your tech put a solid state in my laptop, my Dell optical mouse won't work. Or the other mice that I have tried. Is there a thing to change? The driver should be native to Windows 10. Okay, you're absolutely right, Wendell. The mouse should work. It should not stop working. Quick question, when you plug in, if you have a wired mouse, not a wireless one, because a wireless one has a battery. If you have a wired mouse, you can plug into that USB port, turn it over, and is there a light on? If the mouse has no light, it's possible that when we took it apart, and I'm sorry to say this, but it's possible that when we took it apart to put the solid state in, sometimes there's a ribbon cable that goes over that hard drive that connects the USB port to the motherboard, and we reconnect that cable, but if that cable did come loose, that could be why that USB port is not functioning. Now, typically, we only have a 30-day work warranty, so if you did this back in January, your work warranty will have expired. If you bring it into the service center, let them know that you talked to me. I talked to Thor, and he said that you guys would check it out, and if it was related to the solid-state upgrade, like a cable, something like that got undone, we're going to fix it for free. If it's not related to that, we'll give you a quote on what it's going to take to fix it. But the dead giveaway is when you turn that mouse over, like this, you should have a laser light here. If it's a wired mouse, there should be a laser. If there's no laser light, that means you have no power, which means that cable is disconnected. So that's a dead giveaway. Sorry for the trouble if that's the case. Okay. Can I call the help desk to get assistance in setting up my laptop? The mouse rather than touchpad. Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Terry, when you get a new computer from Schrock, you get a subscription to the Schrock desk, which is 90 days for free. If you have a computer already, you can subscribe to the Schrock desk. It's $30 a month for unlimited support, and it's not just for when stuff is broken. So let's say, for example, let's say, Terry, that your mouse problem is not related to what we did in January for your solid state. If in fact it is something different, Schrock Desk customers always get half off labor. They always get half off of maintenance checkups. They don't have to wait for the sale. They get half off of all hourly labor, so if you need a repair, it saves you a boatload of money. You also get half off of data transfers if you buy a new computer. Pretty much any labor service except for data recovery. That's the only one that's not half off. So basically, yes, you can go ahead and jump on there, and then we can definitely help you get all that stuff set up. Not a problem at all. You can subscribe for $30. If you don't want to subscribe, you can do a one-time, which is basically the same as an hour of labor in the shop, but it's by the clock hour. So if it's going to take less than an hour, which it should, to set up a mouse and turn off a touchpad and stuff, you could just do a one-time Schrock Desk if that was what you preferred. DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo is an alternative browser, an alternative search engine. DuckDuckGo is designed to look and act and feel a lot like Google Chrome without Google Chrome's tracking. DuckDuckGo is a search engine like Google. So instead of going to google.com, you'd go to duckduckgo.com, and you can search, and it's designed to look and act and feel a lot like Google. It is not Google, so it's not going to give you the same all-encompassing search results that Google does, but it does a very good job of it. It's better than Bing, for sure. So yes, DuckDuckGo is a viable alternative if you're really concerned about your privacy on search. What about Edge? Edge is still a good browser. You can still use Edge. Edge is the blue E that's available in Windows 10, not the blue E with the little golden halo around it, okay? So if you're going to get the Edge browser, keep in mind that Microsoft has now admitted that they're just not good at making browsers. So they're going to get rid of Edge, but they're going to take the guts out of Edge, and they're going to replace it with Chromium's guts. Now, when Google makes Chrome, the Google Chrome browser is based on a Google open source technology called Chromium. So what Microsoft is going to do is they're going to take that same open source Chromium tech to power the Edge browser, but then they can apply all of their own customizations to it, just like Google does with Google Chrome, to track everything you do online. Isn't that amazing? So yeah, so Edge, not a lot of success, with it. I don't really like it as a browser. I would prefer Firefox or Chrome myself. And if you're going to eventually use Edge, you're eventually going to be basically using Chrome. So you may as well switch to Chrome now. Make your life easier. Can I buy the Windows upgrade online? You absolutely can, Terry. It's on our website. It's SchrockInnovations.com. You click on Shop and then Specials. Now, you're not actually buying the Windows update from us. You're buying software that installs this free update that Microsoft is going to push down to you, but it installs it in a controlled way, the same way that we would do in the Service Center. Now, the update is not available yet, so when you go out and buy your safe upgrade, let me take a look and see how many of these we have left, because we only have 500 available total. And so I'm going to click on Shop and then Specials. And I'm going to click on, we still have some available here. They're $49.99 for the safe upgrade. And we have 104 left total. And we have like a month at least of sales to go yet. So we're going to sell out. So I would encourage you to go and get one. If you've got one already, make sure you have one for each computer you need. And keep in mind that this update is only good for the April-May 2019 update. It wouldn't work in future updates, just like the one you bought last October doesn't work for the 2019 updates. So you need to buy one for each Microsoft update once every 6 months if you want to do it with Safe Upgrade. Now, if you want to just allow it to install naturally, you can kind of throw the dice on that one. 20% of the computers are going to go up in smoke over it. That's the average. You could get lucky or you might not. But Safe Upgrade will make sure everything stays safe, and that's why we call it Safe Upgrade. Why would my default search engine change from Google to Bing? Well, if you got a Windows update, like a new version of Windows 10, for example, one of these big updates, it will change your default search engine if you're using Edge from Google to Bing. Changing it back is usually pretty easy, though. But yeah, that is usually why that happens. That or you installed a Google product and they asked you when you installed Chrome, for example, do you want to change your default search engine to Bing or to, I guess, never mind. No, Google would never switch it. It would be the other way around. Edge, if you installed the Microsoft update and you opened Edge, Edge would ask you if you want to change it from Google to Bing, and you maybe just yes, 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 finish, and it changed everything over. But you should be able to change it back pretty easily. All right, guys. got to get rolling here. But thank you for joining us for the AfterSchrock. Goodbye, Kobe. I'm going to miss you. Miss you tons, man. And yeah, take a moment today. If there's someone in your life who has made a big impact, somebody, just say thanks. Not because, something bad's going to happen to him or anything, but it's one of those things I wish I would have told him, Maybe he knew. I don't know. But he kind of gave me my big break. Without him, without Kobe Mack, there would not be a Compute This radio show. And without Kobe Mack, there may not have been a Schrock Innovations. It may not have lasted because I may have killed myself with stupid mistakes. So I owe that guy a lot. But anyway, thank you all for joining. Thank you, Kobe. Appreciate it. Going to miss you. And we'll see you all again next Sunday for another edition of Compute This.